What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Now today let's go over my growth portfolio and what happened during the month of October. And please excuse me for my late upload, but I was very busy, and because I was so late I was also forced to use screenshots because, well, if I did a video now the data would already for the most part not be accurate anymore because, well, we're already almost halfway into November. Let me first give you a little overview over my portfolio. So first of all, this graph right here is pretty much the most important thing for this portfolio. This is my growth portfolio, so the most important metric here is portfolio value. And I want to see this rising, and there will be setbacks such as we saw in August when the stock market tanks. This is only natural, but over the long term I want to have this grow at a very good pace, which so far, so good. The market value sits at 19,706 euros with 13,712 euros invested. And for a short while we sat briefly above 20,000 euros, which was my goal for this year. So I've hit my goal for this year already, which is nice, with 2 months left. And so I expect that with my incoming contributions over the next 2 months, that at the end of the month we will very securely be above 20,000 euros. The third worst performer was Booking Holdings, down 3.2%, which acceptable. I think the company is pretty cheap and I think it's high quality. So, little spoiler alert, I might have bought in the month of October. Yeah, this is just pretty welcome. Then Sea Limited is down 10.5%. I'm not sure why they haven't reported earnings yet. I believe it is due in a couple of days, so somewhere mid-November. I might have to look into this more, but it's not low enough for me to start a position. For me, I want to concentrate my portfolio a little bit more. But if I compare Sea with Mercado Libre, for example, which are both more or less in the same business. Yes, Mercado Libre has some other branches and Sea Limited also has some branches that Mercado Libre doesn't have, but for the most part they are fairly comparable. But overall I just prefer Mercado Libre, and so I'm not sure. I think I might sell Sea Limited over the next couple of months. It's not a bad business at all. They're growing pretty nicely and all, and it's looking great, but I don't see a world where I would put money into Sea Limited over Mercado Libre unless there is a huge disconnect in stock price, which I don't see at the moment. And then by far my largest loser was Hims & Hers Health, which is kind of a running gag at this point. I mean, I don't think there has been any growth portfolio update where Hims was not in the top 3 or bottom 3 performers for the month. And so yeah, this time again it's showed up in the bottom 3, down quite a bit. But I think this might also be warranted. The more I've looked into the company and the more news I've gotten around it, the less convinced I am in its long-term business trajectory. On the other hand, they are currently going through a bit of a restructuring phase and making lots of acquisitions. So I'm just going to let it run. I'm not considering selling at the moment. But I also don't want to add more unless the price gets to absolutely incredibly low levels. So yeah, for now I'm just going to have a look at it and see what it does. In terms of my best performers, on spot number 3, up 14.4%, Amazon. They reported earnings and the market realized that actually Amazon is a pretty good company, which I knew beforehand. I was pretty close to buying more of it. I decided against it and now I regret it. In any case, if I see any more weakness with Amazon over the next few weeks and months, I will most certainly increase my position. Then Nebius up 17%. The stock, it's I don't even know what to say about it. It's out of this world really. I'm looking forward to the earnings. also in the middle of November, as far as I know. Will be interesting to see how the stock reacts and what numbers they post. I will be closely monitoring this. And then my top performer also after reporting earnings was Alphabet, up 18.6%. And also here the market sentiment shift from middle of this year to now has been absolutely crazy. Middle of the year and beginning of the year even more so. Everybody was saying, yeah, Alphabet is being eaten alive, the company is complete trash, it's going to zero. And yeah, look at it now. Now everyone's saying, whoa, it's the greatest AI winner ever. It's absolutely nuts what, efficient market and all, not happening. In terms of buys, I bought my usual 50 euros worth of MasterCard in the beginning of the month, and I am now very rapidly approaching my full 1 share of MasterCard, but most likely, especially since the stock price right now is a little bit depressed, I will most likely just keep buying 50 euros worth of MasterCard each month and extend it to 2 full shares as my goal. I also bought 100 euros worth of Toast. Toast has been very volatile over the last couple of months. I bought a little bit too early, and now my cost basis is a lot higher than the stock price, so I took this as a chance to average down. But overall, I'm very happy with the company and with what they are doing. And then in the middle of the month, I already spoiled it. I bought some more Booking Holdings, 50 euros worth of it. Nothing major. I don't want to have this position be too large, because it's a rather slow and steady and safe company, which is not exactly what I'm looking for in my growth portfolio. I want to put more emphasis on faster growing companies. That's why Booking Holdings is most likely never going to be a very large position, but it's fine for me to increase the position slightly, so 50 euros into Booking Holdings. And then lastly, I bought 100 euros worth of Mercado Libre, which again saw some volatility. Yeah, I still think after reporting earnings, they were great. The company is great. So long term, the cost basis won't matter that much. I think the company is absolutely incredible buy right now. Now let's compare the performance of my portfolio to that of the broader market. We can see the broader market was also doing very well during the month. As a matter of fact, up until, let's say, 2/3 of October, my portfolio was actually underperforming most indices, or even all indices at some point. And then, as the last few weeks, I think this was when Amazon and Google announced their earnings. Then my portfolio jumped up and just barely managed to overtake even the Nasdaq, which closed in just slightly below my portfolio. But overall, this month was great for almost all stocks, especially if you were invested into Alphabet and Amazon. As for my dividend income, I received a grand total of 11 cents from Nvidia and 2.56 euros from TSMC, and there was no comparison to the prior month. But next month, actually, there will be a comparison to the prior month, so I will be, I'm looking forward to that. Looking at my performance a little bit more closely, I was up 7.75% in gains, which was just below 1,500 euros, which is great to see because last month already my portfolio was up 10.6%. So in just this month and last month together, I made more than 3,000 euros on a basis of a sub to 20,000 euro portfolio. That's pretty good. I'm all here for it. And we can also see that my forward annual dividends, while very negligible, still managed to increase 10%, even a little bit more than that, so that's great. That pretty much sums it all up for my portfolio for this month. Let me know down in the comments which companies paid you this month and how did your portfolio do for the month of October. I will be very interested in hearing that. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.